Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
As always, thank you guys for tuning in. It is much appreciated. And if you haven't yet, make sure to go subscribe and follow us on all things, just anything and everything that you see Fringe Fanatics. Just follow, subscribe, and share something.
You know what to do.
You know what to do.
Yep.
It is episode 76.
Yeah.
We've past the 3/4 mark to the century mark.
Marching right along.
Marching
and we're
along.
going to honor today's episode, the famous hockey player, SUBBAN.
Yes, Mr. PK Subban.
Or in other words, Pernell Carl Sylvester Subban.
Yes.
Maybe the coolest name ever.
It is a very good name. Professional ice hockey defenseman between 2009 and 2022. Played 13 seasons in the NHL with the Canadiens, who are playing the Avalanche tonight, the Predators, and the New Jersey Devils. Canadiens selected Subban in the second round, 43rd overall of the 2007 NHL entry draft. In 2013, he won the Norris Trophy as the NHL's top defenseman.
Big honor there.
Yes.
Yes.
Give him a little more news or information about him.
All right.
I don't know
Well,
why I said news.
So, yeah, he tied with Chris Letang as the season's leading scorer among defensemen. In the summer of 2014, he signed an 8-year, $72 million contract with the Canadiens, running through the 21-22 season. So he pretty much played a big chunk of his career there. And then after the 2015 and 16 season, Subban was traded to the Predators, where he spent 3 seasons before being traded to the New Jersey in 2019. He is now a broadcast analyst for the NHL on ESPN.
On SUBBAN, yes,
Yeah.
the 4-letter network.
Is he still? I know he was for a little bit.
He was for a little bit. I think he might have gotten a little bit of trouble with
he
something
kinda-
he said,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Might be in timeout right now.
He might be in a little bit of timeout. He did have, like, I thought it was like PK's Places, which was like Peyton's Places.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
and
he had
then
that.
after he said whatever he said, he kind of got in trouble. But
Well, we're going to give a little helmets off to him. Not hats off, but because he played hockey. Or the little helmet that they wear now, not like the old days.
yeah.
But to him, for his career and his playing days, because, he was pretty impressive back in the day.
Yeah, and he also, I mean, aside from being one of the better defensemen in the time he was in the NHL, he kind of had a cool story of, just his upbringing. Both of his parents immigrated to Ontario from the Caribbean in the 1970s. And so he had a little bit of a different path to the NHL than most guys. So
True.
it's cool to see someone from Jamaica, well, the Caribbean, Jamaican.
Around that area,
to, go into the NHL. There's not enough black people in the NHL, unfortunately, men or women. It's a tough sport to get into in general, and it's not, in the inner cities and stuff, because just to play hockey is like, the little goalie just to get the pads is like $400 or $500 just for the pads.
Yeah, that's why most times people are like that really are into hockey are from the north. You got a frozen lake in your backyard.
You can
or
skate
something.
around. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not something where like you got to go find an ice rink in downtown somewhere and go pay to get in. So it's nice just for PK because he got a bunch of kids who didn't see somebody like themselves on the ice skating around to grow up watching someone and be able to idolize them. So good on PK, like we said. Appreciate all of his, all that he's done for the NHL and what he's done for broadcasting in his short time in ESPN. So
Yeah. Thank you, PK.
yes, PK.
But we're getting into it. Episode 76.
Yep.
Chris, tell me, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Saturday, I didn't do much. I went and tracked down ring light for Meryl because she's going to start doing her videos and stuff again, and she needs like a legit ring light.
Oh, like a halo light.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, ring
Okay.
light. You're like, what, like a ring doorbell?
I thought that's what you meant was a ring doorbell.
So it's like a big-ass ring light, so she's going to be doing that. But like, it was a big fiasco. I usually have really good luck with my transactions on the marketplace or the
This person
Craigslist.
fall through, they bail on you.
He didn't, but we just had a little bit of a miscommunication. Like, I told him we were gonna meet somewhere like 4:30, and then he was like, "Oh man, I'm still over in Boulder." Like, and I told him we were gonna meet in Broomfield, and then I drove to Boulder, and then he had left and didn't message me.
No way.
And then he ended up going to like Erie, which would have been closer to me technically.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he's like, "Oh shit, man, I'm sorry, I didn't see my message," which, you know, it happens if you don't have your notifications on for Facebook or whatever. You're not going to see it right away. So like, I wasn't mad at him, but I was like, damn, that sucks.
That blows.
But then I ended up just meeting him at 104th and I-25 basically.
Oh,
so
cool.
That worked out. And then Sunday went to the old Magic Makers Market at Priz Magic, which is this pretty cool bar over in the Colorado Mills. You probably walked by it the other day.
I did, yeah.
Pretty cool little bar. They do
crazy.
like art installations there. So yeah, you just missed me by 24 hours. I was there the next day. Or were you there on Sunday?
No, I went there a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know I saw that bar. It looked pretty cool. It's pretty wild.
It's right across from what used to be the Van Skate Park, which is now like Slick City or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like an adventure park. You can go do a bunch of stuff there.
No, it's not a skate park anymore?
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought it was still a skate park. But
whatever they call it. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Slick City.
So yeah, we did that. So I just tried to do my best to be Marilla's hype man. She actually had a pretty busy day towards the end. She had like a little like waiting list going on. I think she did like 5 or 6 readings, and so pretty cool. Yeah, it's fun little jaunt out there.
Productive,
and then
man.
Got to drive home in the crazy. I don't know if you guys got that, but we left Colorado
Sunday night?
Mills. Yeah, and it was like raining and thundering.
Whoa.
And then it started fucking sleeting all crazy.
Damn.
Like the little balls.
Yeah.
But like to where it was building up on the highway.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, this is wild. Like normally it just starts snowing by
You in
now.
the van or?
Yeah, we were in the van. So it was a little... It's always a little iffy with the rear-wheel drive, but you know that thing actually doesn't do too bad. But yeah, that was the majority of the weekend. Band practice last night. Might have got a little too drunk. Was feeling pretty shitty most of the day today. I had that like
sometimes it's worth
that creeping headache. You know,
I hate that shit, man.
It just like won't go away.
It doesn't matter how much water you try to chug; it's not gonna make a difference.
Yeah,
You're just like,
that's why I got
Oh, that's why you're drinking that
Body Armor Flash IV.
Yeah. Hydrate, man.
I did it intravenously because it wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, sometimes you need that. I never see you drink that. I was wondering why you had that.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I need to be hydrated. So
good call, man. Good call.
So yeah, but what about you? How was your weekend?
It was good. Hannah found this like viral thing where people have been going to Applebee's for this triple dipper special, and these mott sticks that are like this big around. They're fucking huge.
Mozzarella sticks?
Mozzarella sticks. You only get 2 of them, but they're like they're size of like a block of cheese.
It's like, yeah, it's just like a hot dog.
Such an American fucking overeating kind of thing. And so we had to go try that. So we went to Chili's. I haven't been to Chili's in a long time, and I am not a fan.
You don't like Chili's?
No, I mean the food was okay. I actually got like a spicy margarita.
Their chips and salsa is like one of the best.
I'll have to try that next time we go.
They just have really good chips.
We like their food a lot, but I don't like sitting in a place where I can't even hear when I'm trying.
Oh yeah,
dude, it felt like a cafeteria, man.
Yeah,
like
especially if you're in the bar.
Cafeteria.
Yeah,
we weren't even in the bar, and I looked, and March Madness going on. The bar was nuts, but yeah, it almost gave me anxiety, and I was like, We went to Old Reliable. We went to Steakhouse for the entree.
Oh, nice.
So we did our appetizers in first round at Chili's, and then we finished the night at Steakhouse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that was a viral thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
wait, so it was
Instagram
it Chili's
things.
or Applebee's? You said Applebee's and then you went to Chili's.
Did I say that? She kept giving me shit for that because to me they're
the same thing.
They are one and the same.
They're both your friendly
neighborhood
grill.
It was Chili's. Yeah, and both of them have rats.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
But yeah.
So that was cool. And then, Saturday, we didn't really do a whole lot. And then we started getting into the other kind of viral thing that's been going on. But we saw it just pop up on Max, the Nickelodeon scandal. That was nuts, man. Holy shit, my childhood just got warped, man. That was fucking... It was gross.
Yeah, that dude's a creep, Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
Which, looking back on it, like now... I met that dude, I bet that guy's a fucking creep.
It seems like it'd be, yeah.
But back then, you're just like, oh, it's just like weird Nickelodeon. Like, he's just a weird Nickelodeon guy.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's insane how they didn't see it when you see all these different scenes that they had these kids film, where there's vulgar and obscene things, but it's done in like a joking manner.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the it's obvious. It's right there on the screen. How do you not notice that this, it doesn't go up through the board of Viacom or Paramount?
Yeah.
Like, why are we letting this go? Because if people don't know, Dan Schneider is the guy that aren't aware of this like trend where people are like binging this Quiet on Set on HBO. Yeah, he was the guy that was behind and got Nickelodeon pretty much lifted off the ground with all of that. And then it just like spiraled into all these other shows, and all these kids were kind of like abused from it. And it was like a really eye-opening, scary docuseries to watch. Yeah. So
like
that was
him
pretty
getting like
wild.
massages and shit on set,
Yeah.
and like just weird, creepy stuff all the time.
Every day would be a different girl's turn to like massage this huge Jabba the Hutt looking guy that seemed so creepy, but nobody saw the. And then there were like 3 people that were arrested for, obscene pedophilia acts, and they, he had hired these guys. It is a crazy docuseries to watch. There's always a new docuseries to watch. This is the one to check out. And then Sunday, we had a pretty good day and chilled. Didn't really do a whole lot. I cleaned my car. Got the old Camry detailed.
Nice.
That was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Not to jump in on you, but I definitely forgot on Sunday I did watch the Avs come back, which was rad.
Yes, thank
While
you.
I was sitting there, and then the people around were probably at this Magic Makers Market thinking I'm like insane as like the Avs score, and I'm just like,
Oh man,
oh my god,
it was nuts.
trying to react in silence.
I went into work Monday and I had to tell Dan, I was like, Chris was like texting me like, are you seeing this? This is insane. And I'm like, I'm walking my dogs, man. I'm scared. And like, I could tell like you were super pumped for it. So as soon as I like got back, I had to watch the highlights and caught the overtime. This is an insane game. It's cool that you got to see that.
Down 4-0, score 5 straight goals.
Yeah.
McKinnon keeps the streak alive.
For 34.
Yeah, 34
all 34
home
home
games,
games, yeah.
straight since last season, so that's crazy. But
Denver sports are blessed with
Miss
DU
Scoos.
hockey. DU hockey.
Yeah.
They just won the Frozen face-off. And the Nuggets and the Avs, man. It's a good time.
But we won't talk about the Rockies or the Broncos.
No,
Well,
I wasn't going to bring it
we
up.
might bring up the Rockies. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a good
So,
week.
good week. Yeah, here we are, 76, cruising along.
We sure are.
Yes, we are. Well, this week, we're always a little earlier than we tell them, but we do have, I guess we could go over the rule changes and stuff.
Yeah, let's hit on that real quick.
Okay.
Kill a little time.
We're going to get into a little bit of the headlines, and then we're going to have a guest, which we'll tell you about shortly.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right. It's time for the headlines of the week. And as always, we start with the NFL.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
That's right. Oh, I pushed it again.
But
Okay, we're back. So NFL, we're going to start it out. There was some changes that happened this week. Rule changes.
the owners' meetings are going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid's down there in his Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, he looking good.
Yep.
Looking like a regular old dad.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to digress too much, but I just had to tell you, I watched the Guy Fieri diners, drive-ins, and
Yeah.
whatever
Triple
the
D.
Yeah, Triple D is what I always call it. He did one with Andy Reid in Kansas City, man.
Oh, nice.
It's totally
I
worth
bet it's
watching.
pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
So
let's get into it. Rule changes.
yeah, you start with the first one.
All right, the kickoff rule has been overhauled.
Yep.
Yep.
We're going to the XFL.
Yep. If people haven't seen it, we did put out a few examples on our page, but basically there will be a setup zone. The kicker will be way far back, and then
From the
players,
35.
Yeah, I don't really know. Remember, I don't have the yardages memorized.
So they kick from the 35. The kicking team, the kicking team, aside from the kicker, lines up on the 40. 5 yards away from them is the receiving team blockers, and then once the ball is kicked, nobody moves until the ball is received. You can have up to 2 receivers back there, and they can run around and do whatever they want. As soon as the ball is received, both teams can then start moving and running into each other, and it does make for a little bit more entertainment.
I am super pumped for it because I think that there's going to be teams that kind of dial up like some type of laterals and plays with it.
Well, case in point, Cordarrelle Patterson was just signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been also known as like one of the better kick returners in the last few years.
I'm sure he's probably made a Pro Bowl as a kick returner.
Yeah, he probably has. He's also like a Swiss Army knife in the backfield. Can run wildcats. He's
a big
pretty
guy,
much do
too.
anything. Yeah,
He's like a tight end, wide receiver, fullback,
running back. Yeah,
he can do it
so
all.
you're already seeing teams start to move towards like how can we gain an advantage, because there's also the fact like, if you kick it into the end zone, they start at the 30.
Yeah.
So you're giving them an advantage by kicking it through the end zone. So now they're trying to make more just football happening.
That's what I love.
It's a bummer when the game starts. We go through all the rigmarole. There's a big build-up. And then it's just like, and now the kickoff. Thunk, and then it's just like,
commercial.
And out of the end zone, commercial break.
Yep. And I mean,
sucks.
That's where I normally go get like a drink or like get up
Yeah.
and go use the bathroom or something like that. Now I'll be one to watch this play. It'll be exciting. I'm really glad they're doing this.
Yeah, so the other rule is if you kick it, I think it's there's like the landing zone, which is like the 20 on. I think if you kick it into that, they start at the 20 if they don't return it back.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's
right.
very confusing.
I know. It's going to be tough to get all this memorized, but we're going to get it down.
And especially if you read the way we tried to read it last week, I think, when we talked about the proposed change, and it was just very convoluted and like the kicking theme and blah, 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 blah. And it's just
it
like,
took
I don't
until
even
I
know.
saw, I have to see, I'm a very visual thinker, so I had to see it acted out in the XFL, and then it kind of made sense to me.
Yeah, I watched a couple of XFL games, and then I did like it. It made it more entertaining. But if you haven't yet and you want to see what it's going to look like, go look up the XFL kickoffs.
It starts in a couple of weeks, I believe, right? Yeah, I think it's pretty soon.
Well, now, it's the what's it?
UFL, XFL,
XFL,
USSR.
They're back.
56735
that is one of the bigger ones because that's going to be a pretty big change to how the game looks. But the other one is going to be the challenges.
Yeah. So now, if a coach gets one of his 2 challenges right, he can get a third one, or 2. If he gets both of them right, then you get a third one. Yeah.
Yeah, but you still get 2. Mm-hmm. But now you can get a third if you get both of them right.
Yeah, I think it's really smart. It might help some of these bullshit.
Dan Campbell apparently was the one that brought that to the committee.
Really?
I guess
cool.
I don't know why,
nice. But well, maybe it's it sucks you can't use it for a penalty because that's what I feel like. It could really help the situation on a bullshit pass interference call
or now a bullshit hip drop call.
Yep.
As even offensive guys are mad about this. I've seen there's offensive guys coming out about it. There's guys coming out on defense being like, I like how you guys changed this rule, but you won't get rid of turf, which is,
well, that's
ruining.
What Juan Thornhill, the safety said.
Thornhill,
but I thought it was a great point. It's like, okay, the whole thing's player safety, but you're not going to get rid of turf, which has been causing so many injuries.
Yeah.
So
it's very, again, kind of convoluted the way they're going about it, but
well, I think in the next time they go into, I think it's been a couple years since they negotiated the CBA, I believe, but I think the next time they do, I think that's maybe going to be the strongest arguing point and the biggest topic on the table is turfs.
Yeah, turfs, and then I don't know how you can litigate out now and especially this rule alone, along with pass interference, it's too subjective. Yeah. I mean, you look at some of these tackles in like full speed; it just looks like a tackle.
Yep.
Until I don't know what a 5'10" safety is supposed to do to Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews. I mean, like you're smaller than the guy. You're gonna fall down him.
I mean, I don't understand what they're supposed to do. I mean, you're gonna have to yank on his arm, maybe grab one leg. I don't know. Try
just
to
let
go
him
for
run
the leg.
free.
Just let him go. Try to push him. Push him, I guess.
What are you going to do to
Makes no
Derrick
sense.
Henry if he's got a full head of steam running at you? Just like,
I saw a great picture that was, you remember the iconic, one of my favorite Super Bowls ever was the Rams and Titans Super Bowl, where I think it was Dyson that was tackled like at the 5-yard line. You know how he was tackled? A hip drop tackle.
Yeah.
That's not how that Super Bowl would have ended.
Yeah.
They would have gotten, up to like that point, and then a penalty, that would have caused them to have a second chance.
Another thing that would have happened from these rule changes is Sean Payton wouldn't have been able to win his Super Bowl, because now with the kickoff rule, you have to announce that you're doing onside kick. You can't just do a sneaky onside kick anymore. You have to announce it.
Is that for safety?
It's
Why would
because
they do
they
that?
have to. It's a different lineup, so like both teams have to line up differently.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Damn, that is interesting.
So
I didn't know
you
that.
Can't, you can't just you can't do what Sean Payton did
Yeah,
and do
do
a
a
sneaky
surprise.
fucking,
Wow.
So yeah, things are changing.
He's gonna
We're
be
moving.
pissed.
But
All
it's
right.
time. We got Bryce, also known as the Owl.
Yep. Look him up on Twitter.
Woohoo, woohoo. He does a lot of mock draft stuff, really big in the NFL, also does some NBA stuff. So we're going to get him on and let him tell you a little bit about himself. We are going to call him right now.
Let's do it. No, that came across a little loud.
Bryce, is that you?
Yes.
What's up, man? How are you doing? This is Chris with the Fringe Fanatic Sports Podcast. We got Chad here with us.
What's up, man?
Going well, good time to be in Houston this past couple months. Sports are finally on the up. Trying to chase that Denver Nuggets / Colorado Avalanche and the KC Chiefs. So good time to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely. Yeah, you guys got a lot going on down there in Houston. You got the Houston basketball team, and then, the Texans, they're up and coming team. It's pretty exciting what they got going on in the draft.
I think as a Texans fan, this is the best offseason the best feeling we've had in at least 5 years. And it's very reminiscent of like the Bengals after the Super Bowl, like the surprise Super Bowl run, and then they're like, okay, we got Joe Burrow on a rookie contract, found Jamar Chase. Texans have the exact same vibe of we're the next dynasty, whether it's true or not, but that's how all of Houston's feeling. Especially with Daniel Hunter and some of the other additions. It's a good time to be a Texans fan.
Yeah, and the young stable of wide receivers you guys got, and not to mention that quarterback you guys got, which is now looking like the steal of the draft, so to speak, with Bryce Young over there and struggling in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Especially, the good thing is our division. Like, if you look at the AFC South, Jags are the Jags, Like, last year they had super high expectations, and they found a way to miss the playoffs. The Colts, we still don't know what Anthony Richardson is. He was fantastic in his 5 games, but, Gardner Minshew saved the season last year. If Anthony Richardson gets injured again, they go into Joe Flacco, which I'm not hating Joe Flacco, but he is Joe Flacco. And then the Titans, we still don't know what Will Levis is. So
you're talking about comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, mind you.
I am.
Put some respect on that name. No, I'm just messing around.
Yeah, I was at the Texans-Browns playoff game, and he did not look like the comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, there.
That's a good point. That is a good point. He did look a little aged in that one. He got 2 pick sixes, I think, in that game. That's pretty cool. You were at that game.
Oh, it was I've been to I've been to every single playoff game in Texans history,
Damn.
which is kind of cool. But that one in particular was probably I think it's been a while since we had a home playoff game, but that was the most meaningful Texans game in probably at least seven years.
Yeah,
I
I'd definitely
believe
say so. Yeah, that's for sure. So you had put out, retweet, and tweeted out a mock draft the other day. We tried to retweet it, and because it is a very interesting mock draft, I couldn't help but to notice some Pretty interesting picks here. You want to run through your top 10? Tell us what you got.
Yeah, so this draft, I'm I guess the NFL draft is kind of very big passion of mine. I very closely follow like Dan Brugler, Tom McShay, Kuiper, all the kind of like main analysts, as well as I do a lot of my scouting. So right now I've done reports on over 120 guys watching film and stuff like that. But this draft in particular is a very offensive heavy draft. I mean, it's pretty much set in stone, or it is set in stone. The first 6 picks are going to be all offense. And whether that's going to be four QBs and 2 receivers, or 3 QBs and 3 wide receivers, if you're a casual fan and you want, I'm a Bengals fan as well, but I remember a couple of years ago the Bengals had the Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, argument. There's nothing quite like taking a receiver top 5. If you take a tackle top 5, like, okay, it's a tackle, cool off the alignment. When you take a star receiver top 5, there's nothing quite like it in the offseason. But if you look through this draft, the first 3 picks, Bears, Commanders, Patriots, it's going to be Caleb Williams 1, Jane Daniels, or Drake May go 2, 3. And in this mock draft, I put Jane Daniels at number 2. It could easily very well be Drake May. I mean, it's a kind of a flip-flop. No one really knows what the Commanders are going to do, but we've kind of known that one of those 2 guys is going to go at number 2. I put Daniels at number 2 because if you read some of the tea leaves, the Commanders, they have Cliff Kingsbury. He likes his kind of mobile quarterbacks. And what I thought was really interesting was the Commanders signed Marcus Mariota in the offseason. That's a very strange backup QB to sign, but he fits very well in the mold and model of Jane Daniels, right? He's pretty much the exact opposite of Drake May.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put Jane Daniels right there because it kind of makes the most sense. And then I put Drake May at number 3.
Okay, going to the Patriots.
Yes, the Patriots. The Patriots. Now that free agency has ended, a lot of teams have, kind of cleared up their holes. Like most teams only have maybe 1 clear hole. Maybe like the Jets or the Bengals, for example, they have 0 clear. They don't really have a major hole. But for the Patriots, they still don't have a left tackle. The top receiver is Kendrick Bourne coming off the 20 ACL. They don't have a quarterback, but at the end of the day, you got to give them a quarterback. Even though they don't have a receiver or a tackle, you guys have the quarterback. So Drake May to number 3 for the Patriots. This definitely makes the most sense.
Yeah, that would help them out a lot.
Yeah, I could definitely. It does seem like it's going to go quarterback 1, 2, and 3, and then the big question is, what's Arizona going to do? Are they going to trade, or are they going to, stick where they're at? And what do you have them doing?
So when you look at the picks 4, 5, 6, 7, it goes Cardinals, Chargers, Giants, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, you look at 4, 5, 6. Arizona and the Chargers are just the 2 biggest wild cards in the entire draft. With Minnesota looming at number 11 with 2 first-round picks. And they can, they have the first-round pick for next year, too. So technically, they could add a little sweetener, make 3 first-round picks. The question is whether Arizona wants to move back and just keep collecting assets and doing a slow rebuild, or they can take Marvin Harrison Jr. Or if you're the Chargers, you trade away Keenan Allen, you cut Mike Williams. You obviously need a receiver, but at the exact same time, you have a new regime there. And who knows what the new regime is going to do. But there's 2, you have Malik Neighbors, Caleb Williams, and Rome Odunze, who are 3 elite prospects at receiver. So 4 and 5 in particular are the 2 wild cards. We really have no idea what they're going to do. But in my mock, with just the glaring holes at receiver for the Cardinals and for the Chargers, I mean, the Cardinals receiver 1 is Michael Wilson, third-round pick from last year.
Yeah.
And the Chargers receiver 1 is Jalen Guyton. I mean, I guess Quentin Johnson, but he didn't do anything. So I just went ahead and I gave him Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors. I mean, they could easily trade back, but they have such a big hole at receiver. I was like, you know what, you've got to give them – like, these are blue-chip prospects. These are, you know, potential Jamar Chase rookie-year impact players. So that's why I decided to keep them in their draft slots and just take a receiver.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I forget who it was, but I saw a mock draft today where they had Arizona trading Kyler Murray to Minnesota. And like,
yeah, that was Mike. that was Mike Tannenbaum, former Jets GM, and that's the first time I've seen that. But I don't know. I don't see that at all.
Yeah, it'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't think O'Connell would want Kyler Murray. And, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean,
Minnesota might trade up and try to get Drake May, or not Drake May, excuse me.
JJ?
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Thank you.
Yeah. JJ keeps cruising up draft boards every as the days go on. There's more heat on JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, like JJ McCarthy is such an interesting prospect because if you watch any Michigan tape, they run the ball.
Yeah.
30, 40 times a game. And so you really have to dig and search to find, you know, his actually passing tape. But the one thing that J.J. McCarthy does do is with Michigan, he ran a really pro-style system. If you look at USC or you look at LSU, you look at UNC, all of those guys were in shotgun 95% of plays. Well, J.J. McCarthy was actually running a pro-style offense, very similar offense to the Vikings, a lot of play action, stuff like that. So it's kind of easy to translate it. And from every indication, J.J. McCarthy's probably the best kind of coach. Like, if you're a coach, you want J.J. McCarthy. He's the best coach speak, really high reputation. Coaches love him, high IQ guy. And some coaches are going to fall in love with that. Like McConnell or O'Connell, or I was thinking Sean Payton initially was going to fall in love with him, but it seems like the Vikings they're clearly the favorite to land him.
Yeah, I heard after his pro day, the Broncos worked him out for like 4 or 5 hours the next day and had him like they gave him a bunch of plays the night before and like wanted to see like how he was able to, you know, reciprocate the plays back to him and run those plays the next day and stuff. So that is interesting. I just don't think the Broncos are going to be able to move up. I don't think unless they do something crazy like trade Surtain and they're number one, you know, I don't know what else they're really going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. If I'm the Broncos, I do not want to trade my 2025 first. Too much uncertainty, you know. And like the Vikings, they traded their 2025 second rounder with the Texans. But again, I would be scared to trade my 2025 first just because if you look at the NFC North, you have the Packers, the Bears, and the Lions. The NFC North it's going to be them. I think, in my opinion, the NFC North is the top two division with them and the AFC North for 2024.
Yeah, it's only going to get better with the way Jordan Love looked last year. He's only going to improve next year. But let's keep going on the top 10. At number 6, who do you got the Giants taking?
The Giants, I continue with the receiver trend. You know, Giants' top receiver is Darius Slayton. You know, like they could definitely take a quarterback, but I was like, you know what? They got to go receiver. They have no weapons. Their best offensive weapon is –
yeah, Rome Odunze could be a good pick for him.
Yeah, I mean, right now you have Darren Waller contemplating retirement, and I guess their best offensive weapon is Devin Singletary. You just got to get weapons. So I just want Rome Odunze. And then for 7, continuing the mock draft, with the Titans, I have them trading back. You know, the Titans, you know, they don't need a receiver. They signed Calvin Ridley to a huge contract. But, I mean, the top 2 receivers just fell off the board, and they clearly need tackle. I mean, their offensive line is barren. But if you're picking at 7, you have every single tackle available in my opinion, just trade with the Vikings, move back to 11. You're still going to get an elite tackle prospect. So that's where I have my mock, is I have the Vikings trading up to number 7 to take J.J. McCarthy.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
pretty
where
good
the-
guess.
Honestly, that does make a lot of sense now that you say that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd be interested to see if that plays out, because I'm going to...
I know. It'd be like, dude, he was fucking right.
Yeah.
That would be pretty
It
cool.
almost makes too much sense because they don't have to give up that much.
No.
And their guy's going to be there anyways, so you don't need to go all the way up to 4. I don't think anybody else is going to take, unless the Giants pull a sneaky one, and they have been talking about QB a lot lately. And they don't like Daniel Jones.
Like, if you're the Vikings, you just want to get ahead of the Giants. Because if J.J. McCarthy's there at number 6, they could take J.J. McCarthy, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then an offensive tackle would be great for the Titans because their offensive line has been horrible the last, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they have a tailbone line. They drafted Peter Skronsky first round last year. They signed Lloyd Cushenberry to, the highest center contract in the league this offseason.
I wouldn't put him as a great offensive lineman, but he's a very serviceable center.
Yeah, he's very serviceable center, but they also do have Bill Callahan. So with the new head coach,
that's true.
Their dad came over, Bill Callahan. They're the number 1 offensive line coach in the league. So why not just give him, you feel comfortable with a rookie offensive tackle when you have the best coach in the league.
No, for sure. I mean, what he did last year with Cleveland was insane. They had so many injuries, but they were still one of the best offensive lines, if not the best.
Yeah, and then continuing on, number 8 pick. Number 8 and number 9 is it goes Falcons Bears.
Yep.
Falcons and Bears. You look at the Falcons. They have a quarterback. They have weapons. They have a great offensive line. They just need a corner really badly and a defensive end really badly. And I have them taking Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner is the best defensive end in this draft. So he outside linebacker or can play defensive end. Raheem Morris, great, defensive coordinator. But they just need somebody who can rush the passer. They don't have anybody at that end. Their best pass rusher last year was Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
And he's been so.
You'd think
they
Dallas
just need
Turner?
something off the edge.
Yeah.
Dallas Turner?
Yep.
Yep, I think Dallas Turner is the better fit for at least Raheem Morris's 3-4 defense. Jared Verse is more of a 4-3 guy. I mean, he can play 3-4, but he's more of a 4-3 guy. So Dallas Turner just makes scheme fit, fantastic player. He just kind of checks all the boxes for them. I mean, they could go corner as well.
Yeah.
But they do have AJ Terrell, so they just have a bigger need of defensive end, in my opinion.
I agree.
Well, I mean, right now, you're sitting at 9. You're Chicago. You have basically the best cornerback on the board still. You have the best linebackers still on the board. You could basically do whatever you want. What do you think they do? Do you think are they going to go offense or defense here, or are they going to trade it?
So, Chicago Bears are in a fantastic spot. You're at number 9. You already got your franchise quarterback. You got Keenan Allen a couple weeks ago. Your O-line, a lot of people were saying, Bears take an O-lineman. The O-line was really good last year. They have a great, they found a true gem in Braxton Jones in the 5th round 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They're not taking a left tackle. They're not. Their defense, they got, Montez Sweat was a 2nd round pick. That's looking like a great deal. He was a stud when he joined Chicago. You just gotta keep adding on to that defense. Right now, they're one defensive end is Montez Sweat. The other one is DeMarcus Walker. I mean, I'm really in tune to the NFL, and I don't really know who DeMarcus Walker is.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you got to take defensive end. I mean, they have, at corner, they have, Jalen Johnson, who just got paid. And then they also have Tyreek Stevenson, who was a rookie from Miami, 3rd round pick last year. He showed some promise, but you got to go defensive end. If you have, and I have him taking Jared Verse in number 9. If you pair Jared Verse with Montez Sweat, that immediately becomes this, the strength of your defense is your defensive end / defensive line. So that's what I have at number 9.
Okay. So wait, who'd you say again? Sorry, this crazy thing just popped up. Did you just get that crazy ESPN thing?
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little later. That's crazy.
Apparently someone on the Jags just got like 220 years in prison or something like that.
It's going to need to be immortal.
Holy shit. So I'm sorry. What was that name one more time? Chicago's going defensive end. Jared Verse. Okay, that's what I thought it was going to be.
That dude, that defense from Florida State last year, that could have just carried them to the college football playoff. I mean, that was one fierce defense, and I think it was led behind Verse.
Yeah, and if you want, I'll give myself some 30 seconds to kind of describe the difference between Dallas Turner and Jared Verse. Dallas Turner is a very versatile defensive end. He's a little bit smaller, Dallas Turner is, but he's, he's 245 pounds, which is tiny for a defensive end, but he's, insane athlete, fastest 40. He's like a 4.46 40, which is wild. And then you have Jared Verse, who's a little bit bigger, like 260 pounds, but he's known for his strength. Like, he is a bull rusher. Like, his strength is elite. Like, he can bench press top left tackles in the league. So there's two different styles of defensive ends. Jared Verse is going to be a really good run defender coming out. But for the Bears, who run a 4-3 defense, you got to have stout run defenders on the edge.
That's a good pick. That seems pretty likely. Going to the Jets, I mean, it's almost a given that they're going to try to keep bolstering that line for the crippled Aaron Rodgers back there, right?
So I have the Jets are in a very interesting spot. Coming into off season, the two biggest holes were obviously offensive line, and they needed another receiver. It was just obvious, and with offensive line, they got Tyron Smith, who was second team All-Pro last year, left tackle.
Yeah, he's a stud.
They got stud left tackle. You got Morgan Moses, who is the right tackle for the Ravens, right? You got John Simpson, who was the left guard for the Ravens. And then you had a center that you drafted in the second round last year, Joe Tippmann, and you had Elijah Vera Tucker, who's been your only capable offensive lineman for the past 3-4 years. So right now, if you're the Jets, you're pretty happy with your offensive line, and then you also just signed Mike Williams. So your two biggest holes are kind of filled. So they're in a fantastic scenario right now because they could take a stout left tackle. They could take, Brian Thomas Jr., which is the fourth receiver, or they could trade back because if you guys remember, they don't have the second round pick because that was involved into the Aaron Rodgers trade.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a little bit low on picks. So if you look at a mock draft, or they can even go Brock Bowers. If you're trying to get the best playmaker left, you can go Brock Bowers.
Oh, man, that would suck if he went to the Jets.
Dude, and you think about when it was towards the end of his time on the Packers, he loved throwing to tight ends, to Tunyon.
Yep.
I mean, Mercedes Lewis back in the day.
This is only first-round draft pick.
That's right. That's a good prediction, man.
Yeah, so, the Jets are at number 10 are just so hard to nail down because they don't have a clear need. So if you look at, pretty much mock drafts for the Jets, some of them see Brock Bowers, some receiver, some lineman, some trade back. But for me, I just went – in my mock draft, I went Brian Thomas Jr., who's a receiver from LSU, 6'4" receiver. If you watch his tape, he gives a little bit Julio Jones vibe. He kind of looks like Julio Jones, but he's super raw. He's a kind of a raw route runner. But he did have 17 touchdowns last year.
Wow.
So you're looking at – so he's like a true outside X receiver. Ran like a 4 – I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think he ran like a 4.34 40. So you're talking about elite athlete that's 6'4", legit upside. And that's what I went because I was like, okay, do I want the day one impact? Brock Bowers would be great, but if Brock Bowers picked in the top 10, he's going to be probably the he's going to be a top 5 paid tight end. And it was, in my opinion, I was like, okay, receiver, like Aaron Rodgers is going to want a weapon. So that was kind of my logic.
That's a sneaky good pick, man. I almost want to put money down on like your top 10. It just seems like it's pretty. Can I ask you a question real quick? I know Chris has got one here for you too, but I'm kind of curious after listening to you for like the last like 25 minutes. Are you like rattling off all this like data from notes, or is it just in your head?
Oh, this is just all in my head.
Dude,
like,
you are nuts.
Oh my God,
I was
man.
about to say when we got off, I was like, dude, he can just throw names out like nothing. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast, and you're like, oh, the Jets offensive line? Let me just tell you all about it.
Yeah, how many picks they have this year and next year? Like,
so you are all about the draft. You are proving that you are incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah, like this is like by far my biggest hobby. I have a twin brother. You want to? His name is Frosty Talks Football. Free agency Frosty. He's like the same thing as well as me, so we're just both get really big into it. But he's really big into like free agency.
That's cool. Nice.
But both of us combined are just a really big ball head.
Like a superpower.
And yeah.
You guys are gonna get picked up and hired by a GM, man.
I
really would not doubt it. Yeah, you really know your shit.
I hope so. I mean, that's the goal. And then I'll be doing something similar this year. So last year, during the draft, I made like tweet summaries of every single player. So basically, when like Bryce Young got drafted, in the comments, I would put a tweet summary of kind of his strengths, weaknesses, his relative athletic score, and stuff like that. And I did it for the top 100 players. So I'll be doing the exact same thing this year.
Man, that is a lot of homework. That's
wild,
pretty
dude.
impressive.
You're making me feel like I don't do enough.
I know, for real.
Well, before we move on, I guess let's move on a little bit.
Well, I want to kind of get at least as far, because Chris is a Broncos fan. I'm really curious who you got the Broncos taking.
So the Broncos, I look at the Broncos, and I'm like, they got to get a QB. Like,
That's
are you going to go on the – you have to get – like, they have Jarrett Stidham, but you have to get a QB. So in my mock
he's sitting right there.
I have them trading back.
Okay.
So I have the Titans trading up to number 12. So the Titans had number 7.
Uh-huh.
They traded back to number 11 for the 11th pick and the 23 pick.
Uh-huh.
And then I have the Titans trading up with the number 23 pick with the Broncos. So the Titans will have the 11th and 12th pick in my mock.
Okay.
And I have them both taken offensive linemen because I'm like, you know what? The offensive linemen is so bad. You got to get 2 tackles. So I have them taking Joe Alt and J.C. Latham.
Damn.
Is that realistic? I don't know. I think that's an awesome scenario. If you're a fan of the Titans and you've seen the offensive line the last 4 years, you're just happy to get competent people.
I like the roll of the dice, man. That's cool.
My only fear is their guy's not going to be there at 23, but...
No. So the Broncos, I have them taking Bo Nix, number 23.
That's who I think they're going to take.
I'm scared they're going to take. That's who I'm scared. Because he's so experienced. I mean, he's been in college longer than Van Wilder.
He has been in college a very long time. And his Auburn years were a struggle. And he looked great in Oregon, but Oregon did have a very QB-friendly offense.
It was very.
I swear,
and so many weapons.
If you watch Oregon film, I've watched a lot of Oregon film the past month. I swear every play was just a read option with the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was basically read option with Bucky Irving, who's the running back, and him, and then they would have Troy Franklin running the route, and that was pretty much the entire thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at his stats, even though that is what it is. I mean, he finishes the 2023 season 364 out of 470 passing for 4,504 yards, 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a completion percentage of 77.4 in the Pac-12.
Wow.
That's the only thing I was going to say.
Impressive.
It's against, if it was, the Mountain West, I would pshaw that. But it's the Pac-12.
Yeah, look how good the Pac-12 was last year. I mean, the Washington was a juggernaut.
That's who I hope they go with, but I don't know. It's if your draft went the way it was, you're right there at 12. Just take them. But they love picks and they don't got a lot of them. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they have so much dead cap with Russell Wilson's release that you just got to get picks at this point. Like Bo Nix is my QB5. QB5. But they just need players that are, I guess, cheap players when you're dealing with $90 million in dead cap.
Basically.
That's true. Yep. Well, I got one more question for you, Bryce, if you don't mind. We're going to jump all the way down to 32 with my homer pick. Who do you got my Super Bowl champion Chiefs taking?
Xavier Worthy.
So,
no. She just said no.
Shut it down so fast.
It was like Sean Payton on Russell Wilson.
Tell me they're not trading back. I don't want to trade out of the first round.
No, you guys are not trading back. If the Chiefs, with creating L'Jarius Sneed and creating like $23 million in cap space, I think another big-time move is coming. So before the draft, we should have more clarity between where they're going to go because, they can re-sign Donovan Smith even though he wasn't the best last year. But at the end of the day, they need a left tackle and a receiver. You just need one more playmaker. Hollywood Brown is good. He's on a one-year deal, and he's had really bad foot injuries. Like, his right foot has been a constant problem for the past 3 years. So I haven't taken Ladd McConkey from Georgia. So
he's a little gadget player. That's interesting.
Oh, no. He's more than a gadget player.
Yeah.
I mean, his athletic comp is Cooper Kupp. You're talking about, like, straight athletics and straight, like, his separation skills.
I like that.
And here's the thing, it's 32. It probably is a little low for Ladd McConkey. Like, don't be surprised if Ladd McConkey goes, upward to mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you have him rated 30 on your big board, so it would make sense he would go.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, I had seen rumors that the Chiefs, I think, had visits with him, so I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, and I would be pretty pleased about it. It'd be nice to get Patrick another weapon.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey, his separation skills, his quickness and separation skills are, they're unbelievable.
I think Cooper Kupp's a pretty good comp for that. That's a good one.
Yeah, and his three cone and his shuttle, so his agilities are like top elite. And for the Chiefs, you just need somebody who can create separation. Someone, and like Xavier Worthy is also another pick that could be right there. Same thing as
well, I don't know. You shot it down pretty quick.
I could see Philly taking him at 22. I could see a lot of people jumping on the fast bullet of Xavier Worthy.
Or the Raiders.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills could need a receiver.
Dude, I hope that doesn't happen. No. Well, dude, I feel like we just talked to someone from the future. You really know your shit, Bryce. I like all your picks, man. I'm especially KC's. But I wanted to talk to you just real quick. We're going to shift gears to college basketball real quick. It seems like you had a tough one a couple nights ago, but a really good game in Texas A&M and Houston. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So I'm an A&M grad.
Congrats.
I live in Houston, so I actually live less than 2 miles from the Fertitta Center, which is where Houston plays. So kind of like mixed feelings about seeing that we're going to be seeded second round if we obviously beat up Nebraska. But A&M is such a weird team. Houston. Houston and A&M played in December at the Toyota Center, like December 15th, and Houston won by 2 points or something like that. It was a super close game the entire time. So coming into the Houston Texas A&M game, I think everybody knew this was going to be a fantastic game, and it lived up to the hype from the first minute. There was an insane game. Houston's their defense, relentless defense, is crazy fun to watch. And then A&M, we were so up and down the entire year, and we finally kind of put together at the end. But Houston's looking like a legit contender. You know, a lot of people are saying, you know, like Houston looks vulnerable because they almost got beaten by a 9 seed in Texas A&M. I'm telling you, Texas A&M, the way that we were playing wasn't a 9 seed worthy. You know, like we were playing like a legit, you know, Elite Eight team, maybe even Final Four team. And, you know, Houston, to put it simple, they kind of escaped that one. You know, their foul trouble. I think at the end of the game, they had three starters foul out and then 2 starters with 4 fouls. And then Houston plays Duke next round, which is going to be insane.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough test for them. So how is the city down there in Houston right now? Do you see just like the red painted everywhere and the city's lit up for them? I'm sure they're super psyched because, I mean, this was their first year in the Big 12, and then me being a Jayhawks fan, you got this newcomer coming through and just taking over. So they've got to be pretty stoked. Yeah,
so like Houston past couple years, even in the AAC, is complete dominant. And, you know, coming into this year, there's a lot of people, even a lot of Houston fans are like, I don't know, like the Big 12 is so much a step up compared to the AAC. Big 12's got Baylor, Kansas, so many of these elite programs. But coming in, we won the Big 12 and just have it, we didn't really lose a step coming in the Big 12. It just was such a kind of an insane feeling because there was no doubters. So there's always been Houston doubters the past couple of years, like, oh, you know, AAC, we don't know how you beating, you know, Central Florida is one thing, you know, but right now for Houston in particular, vibes are very high. I mean, Duke is a tough matchup. I think every Houston fan's kind of like, oh God, of
course,
it's a tough matchup.
Yep, Duke's.
I know
it's a blue blood. You can't, even though they're a 4 seed, you can't put it past them. They're a blue blood.
Exactly, and then I think Houston's playing in Dallas, so I know a bunch of fans are coming up there to Dallas to watch, you know, U of H. But I mean, Duke's fans are like Cowboy fans, you know, they're everywhere, and
they're the Duke crazies for a reason.
Mm-hmm. So I just know that, you know, like the first weekend of March Madness, there wasn't a lot of upsets, but looking at the Sweet 16 and the potential Elite 8 matchups, they're going to be insane.
Yeah, I think they could really put up a good fight. If they get past Duke, I think then they can really go pretty far.
And a lot of people got them picked to win it all, so
that's true.
So we'll see what's going to play out with that.
I think you did in your bracket, didn't you?
One of them I did, yeah.
That's what I thought.
One was UConn, one was Houston.
Nice.
My final is UConn versus Houston. I just don't know how anybody beats UConn. The first 2 games are just dominant from every level.
A win margin of 56 between both games, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say the selection committee screwed up a lot of things this year, just in terms of like seeding and stuff like that. And you know, what are you gonna do though?
They did. So I remember, you know, as an A&M fan, a couple years ago, we were like the first team out, and that stung. I was like, oh my God, committee got it wrong. From my point of view, you know, like A&M, we played Nebraska first round in the women's tournament and the men's tournament. And that's after A&M stole Nebraska's athletic director like 2 weeks ago. So obviously, you know, you have that and you see, okay, the committee's planning these matchups. They're planning certain teams. You know, the Big East got hosed.
Yeah, they did.
It's still a great tournament. Like, at the end of the day, I wish Indiana State was in it instead of Virginia.
That would have been cool. Yes, totally.
Indiana State.
Yeah,
I was just about to bring that. That's where I was trying to get to, was to Indiana State, because we're missing on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, dude.
That guy's awesome, man. He had a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, like I wish some more Big East or some more, you know, Indiana State's got in. But
ACC
I mean, they
could have even gotten a couple of more too.
Yeah, but I remember they said there was like 5 bid stealers this year, so everybody got kind of pushed down a little bit. Just because of who won the conferences. But, I mean, at the end of the day, when you see Duke, Houston, and Sweet 16 and all of these Sweet 16, Elite 8 matchups, you know, it's pretty much chalk across the board. So, like, I don't know if any of these teams that were
slighted,
left out
yeah,
to do anything.
yeah. You're probably right. It does seem like now that we're getting down to the the Sweet 16 Elite Eights, it seems like it's falling into place as to who should have been there. So.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One last thing. Yeah, one last thing is like last year, the Final Four and the national championship was in Houston, actually. So like the Final Four last year was Miami, FAU, UConn, and San Diego State. I mean, this Final Four is shaping up to be way better, just way more elite programs than it was last year.
I think so.
And
too.
I remember, I was able to go to the finals game last year with UConn and San Diego State, just because, there's no. I mean, UConn's a blue blood, but no one really expected them to, make the finals last year. But
I think after last year, they kind of made their stamp as an official blue blood. There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, Bryce, man, we really appreciate your time and all of your information and knowledge, man. It was wild.
Yeah, and we appreciate your insight. I am gonna really keep track of your picks, and I want to see how it plays out, because it just seems like that's it's really hard to nail the first 10 or even the first 5 picks. I mean, the first 5 picks sometimes, yeah, but I mean, I think you got a good chance of the way it's gonna play out is maybe the way it's gonna come down.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like last year, pretty much nobody projected the Texans trade up to number 3 to take Will Anderson. Like the first, everybody says, oh, the draft's going to be chalk. The top 3 picks are probably kind of chalky because we know it. But after 3, it could just be chaos.
Well, and one pick can, totally change the outcome of like the next 5, You
never know how it goes. You got guys like Eli that refuse to go to places, You never know if that could happen again. But yeah, Bryce, you want to promote your content, the Twitter page, the Owl?
Yeah, let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter or X at the Owl_LOB. And draft season's just now beginning. Once the season is kind of fading into the past and getting the draft season. Starting next week, I'll be releasing kind of positional cheat sheets for every position. So you see the measurements and stats for every single top prospect in every single position. So I'll be releasing next week. I'll be doing every single position from QB to safety. And then just kind of getting more into draft coverage. I mean, I know these guys, but I guess most fans have no idea the difference between one guy or another, or we see a receiver, but we don't really know whether he's a slot receiver, outside receiver, what his skill sets are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just be continuing my draft knowledge and coverage. Yes. So follow me at the Owl_LOB.
All right, man. Well,
awesome.
We greatly appreciate you hopping on with us. We will definitely have to have you on again for sure, and then maybe we can work out something to get you and your brother on. Maybe do like a Zoom, type of deal. We'll figure all that out. But we are stoked to have you on, and thanks for hopping on with us, man. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bryce.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, I would definitely like to, come on more if you guys have any more questions, close to the draft or draft recap. So
yeah, we'll definitely have you on after the draft because we're gonna have to figure out how it all played out in terms of what your top 10 was. So, yeah, man, thanks again. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your night, man, and we'll be in contact soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
thank
take
you,
care.
man. Have a good one. That was the Owl, a.k.a. Bryce.
What a perfect name for him, man. I mean, if you want to
it's
go to
the
draft
old
coverage,
wise
goes
one.
to the
It all
wise,
makes sense.
The Owl.
Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo.
He was running through it, and I'm like, that makes sense. Every single pick, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. When we first started, Chad's like, I don't know about some of his picks, man. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll be able to ask him about it. And he laid it out, and I was like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know shit. I'm horrible at draft coverage, but yeah, I want to like really follow it now. I don't think I've ever been so interested in the draft because I want to see how it turns out.
Yeah, now I just want to know if he nailed it because that was pretty wild. Yeah, just
that trade with the Titans that seems and the Jets
that made a lot of sense. The only one that I thought
not the
was
Jets,
weird,
the Brock Bowers, that was a good one. But who was it?
Atlanta and Tennessee. I thought.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, aside from the Titans trading the Broncos, that one seemed a little weird going 11 and 12. But I mean, I don't know. I've heard a lot of the Broncos trading back because they think Nix is still going to be there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard that he's going to go in the second round. So if that's possible,
a lot of people have a second round grade on him.
Yeah,
but it's not the same with quarterbacks.
No.
But yeah, dude, that was.
I'm glad we had him on. That was cool.
Very informative. So
well,
we appreciate it. Let's just go to the music break, and we might just finish with the rest of the headlines.
That's what I'm saying. Man. I'm down.
All right, cool. So you guys just listened to Bryce just spout off some of his savant knowledge to us, which was pretty incredible.
I think we all got educated.
Yeah, we all got educated. And now it is time to get educated by Crypt Keeper. This is their last week. This is the end of March, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Crypt
yes,
Keeper.
Crypt Keeper, we appreciate you. The name of this song is Death Awaits Us All off of their new album, The World is Dying, and We're Reaping the Benefits. We will be back shortly. If you're watching the stream, you know what's about to happen. Noises. We'll be right back, guys. And we are back. The halfway point of the episode. We're not doing a shot at the turn tonight, but you guys just heard a Crypt Keeper. If you were listening after the fact, this is their final week with us. We appreciate them greatly. Crypt Keeper is a rad band out of Denver, Colorado. The name of that song was Death Awaits Us All, off of their new album, The World is Dying, and We're Reaping the Benefits, which you can purchase directly from them at cryptkeeperdenver.bandcamp.com. Please go and do that, and make sure to give them a like and a follow, and go listen to some of their tunes if you liked it. If not, tough titties.
Do it.
You know? But so
Chris, I think we got one more NFL headline to hit, then we can move on from there.
Yeah, so we'll play another little NFL headline thing here.
This one is close to home.
Let's go with.
All right, hit it.
One of them. This one.
Yeah, he got hit with a left hook by his own guy. He was looking out his ear hole for a minute. This isn't a good sign.
Okay? That might hurt already.
Your partner knocked your head off.
Let's go, buddy.
That one's a little long. We might retire that one soon. But so yeah, back to the NFL, which we just spent a bunch of time on with the Owl, aka Bryce.
This guy right here.
Yep.
Sneed.
Wave goodbye.
Friday night, eating dinner with the missus, and I'm sitting there having a great time, and all of a sudden a notification comes across. Traded to the Titans.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. I was really kind of bummed out about it until I saw a good explanation and kind of breakdown of it from our buddy Farzine, who was on the podcast recently, where he said that, this is, we can't be mad. This is a good thing. Now we can afford to pay Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Nick Bolton next year. And, also, I think he was 138th draft pick. We trade him now for a top 100 pick, and he got us 2 Super Bowl wins.
Yeah,
it's
well worth the Yeah, you can't keep everybody, and like we said, the people or players in general just playing for one team is pretty much a foregone conclusion that it's not really going to happen too much more often going forward.
Very few and far between.
Yeah, so unless you're like, Patrick Mahomes, and even then Tom Brady.
Chris Jones, though, too.
Yeah. He might. You never know, though.
Very possible.
The NFL is cutthroat, and they will cut people.
Well, that's true.
But yeah, if you get cut, I guess you're still. You're retiring, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a bummer for the Chiefs. But at the same time, like you said, it is what it is, and now you guys can afford to pay more guys, and you can draft corners these days that are plug and play right out of the gate. So
yeah, we got Spags. They'll be able to train another one.
Yeah, except now we can't tackle in the open field, really. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Right.
But did you want to touch on the Wednesday Christmas game?
Oh, yeah, we forgot to mention that. So news came out today. There is going to be 2 games on Christmas, and it's a Wednesday. So the NFL is coming through, and they are laying it down and saying this is the way it's
you're
gonna
playing.
Be.
You're playing on Christmas.
I think they're moving little brother NBA out of the picture, and they're coming in and dominating.
Well, they're not going to move them completely out of the picture, but they're definitely trying to take over Christmas.
Well, if you look at the ratings, it seems like it is.
Yeah, one NFL game of
well,
all
even
of the NBA
last
games.
year, there was NBA games during the NFL games on Christmas, and it just the numbers weren't even close.
I mean, if it's the Nuggets and the Broncos aren't playing, I'm definitely going to be watching the Nuggets, but that's me. That's not the rest of the world, unfortunately. Yeah. So, okay. So what they're saying is teams to prevent teams from playing on short weeks, the NFL may have to have the teams playing on Christmas in 2024 play Thursday night the week before. So you'd basically get like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Bye almost. So
that throws off routines are so important in the NFL. That really throws off routines.
It doesn't matter.
I feel bad for the teams that go through.
We're playing in Germany. We're playing in Mexico.
Well,
we're playing in Rio de Janeiro. It don't matter.
The NFL is going to make you do whatever.
Yeah. So
I think that wraps it up for the NFL.
It definitely does. It's time for the NBA.
Take it roll! Take it roll! Outlet! Rangers!
It really is. It's a good soundbite.
T, come on. I'm burning.
By one of the greatest actors of our generation.
Very good.
Well, do you want to start off with the Sabonis news?
Yeah, Sabonis breaks the double-double record. Not prepared. I don't have it. I think it was like 55, wasn't it?
Sorry, I kicked it to Chad too soon.
No, I have it right here. 54 is what he had. He broke Kevin Love's record from when Kevin Love was on Minnesota of 53.
54 consecutive doubles. I feel like
this dates back to December.
Does
2nd.
Jokic ever not have a double?
I don't know
how it works.
Well, no, it happens every now and then. There's a game the other day where he only had like 2 assists. But he had like 35 points in that game, I think it was. Yeah. Jokic does it all. But yeah, I mean, Sabonis, he's becoming a wrecking machine. And he owns Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Just owns him. Possession.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't, shouldn't really say that. But, he owns him in basketball.
Different, you might want to pick a different word.
Yeah. That was stupid.
No, it's fine. I liked it.
Yeah.
But speaking of Anthony Davis, him and the Lakers, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Mavs, all powerhouses, are now sitting in the play-in tournament for the final playoff spots. So
we mentioned it last week.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, when we ran through the standings, we mentioned how it is a different era coming through. And, yeah, you look at it, and the 4 teams that have been – I mean, you think about, like, the early 2010s, Golden State Warriors dominated, multiple championships. The Lakers, they're the Lakers. That's all you need to know. The Suns, storied franchise. And the Mavericks, I mean, how many championships they win with Dirk? One, two,
one or two. I think.
But I mean, they were a powerhouse with Dirk and for so many years, and then now those 4 teams are in the play-in. Crazy. And the Rockets are only 2.5 games back from the Warriors, so they're trying to get up there.
Yeah, and
they're
Rockets
8-2
are
in their last 10 games.
A roll, so they could very easily catch the Warriors or anybody else who falls to that last spot.
Yeah,
so.
LeBron isn't playing tonight, so
He's got that ankle.
Yeah, there's a good chance they don't win tonight. But let's move on to a little controversy. Deontay Porter is being investigated. He is a player for the Raptors, and it involves gambling.
Yeah. So a little background. This came out Monday night. Adrian Wojnarowski reported that the NBA was investigating prop bets involving Porter from games on January 26th and March 20th. The details don't sound very good. In the game on January 26th against the Clippers, there was increased betting interest on the under for Porter's props, which for the night were set at around 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. There was also an over-under for Porter's made three-pointers, which was a half. That evening, he played only 4 minutes before leaving the game because of what the Raptors said was an aggravation of an eye injury he had suffered 4 days before. He did not score against the Clippers, but had 3 rebounds and 1 assist and did not attempt a 3, meaning the under hit on all of the props. The next day, part of the daily report on DraftKings Sportsbook stated that the under on Porter's three-pointers was the biggest money winner for the bettors of any NBA player props from the games that evening. 2 days later, Porter played 19 minutes and scored 12 points with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. On March 20th against the Kings, Porter played just 3 minutes before exiting because of what the Raptors said was an illness and did not return. He did not score after attempting 1 shot and had 2 rebounds. Sportsbooks had his over-under set at around 7.5 points and 5.5 rebounds. Now, normally this wouldn't look that bad, but when you look into Deontay Porter's X account, his Twitter account, a.k.a. at TazeTrades11, where he does cryptocurrency and gambling lines that he posts about.
No, that's not
He
good.
even went as far as to tell people they were following the wrong Taze Trades because it was a fake trading account. Follow his real trading account. So he went as far as to make it known that this is his real account. He's giving cryptocurrency updates as well as betting lines. This person just said, Deontay has a Discord where he tells people what to trade and bet on. I have to pay $49.99 to see the premium room, but in the main room they are discussing things, the NBA and Deontay, and people are thanking Deontay for their winnings. This is wild, wild stuff.
I don't think he's going to be playing in the NBA.
I think he's about to get Pete Rose, dude.
Yeah. Maybe the year, and it's just, I brought it up before the podcast. It's so ironic that it's happened the same time as Ohtani. These guys are partnering up with these gambling sites. Ridley got suspended for a year a couple of years ago. Now
we had 3 or 4 guys.
Yep.
Or no, there was like 7 guys last year. One guy on the Broncos. All the way back to college. So when you are in bed with these casinos, gambling companies, which by all means, if any of you guys want to sponsor us, let me know. Get at us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We love gambling. You shouldn't do it if you play sports.
Yeah, but this doesn't look good, especially with the fact that there's these weird, arbitrary injuries. You can't really...
No, he's
eye injury.
Yeah. There's a reason.
Sickness.
They come up with these prop lines because that's their average. That's exactly what they hit it on. If you were to Google, okay, I want to bet on Jokic's rebounds tonight. Oh, they got it set at 12.5. Let me go check and see what he averages. It's going to be about 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
That's how they set the lines. And if he's hitting way under that on these lines, where that's the prop bets where these bettors have hit on the biggest prop bets, of that day.
Yeah.
That says everything right there. He's guilty. Guilty is charged.
Guilty is charged.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Say
Dewey, don't
Cox.
write a song. You better not be writing a song right now.
He's guilty is charged.
Guilty is charged.
Sorry,
but yeah.
Deontay.
Unfortunately, Michael Porter now, both times around the same time this year, or around the same time of the year, heading into the playoffs now, he has had one of his brothers do something stupid.
I feel bad for you, Michael.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into another injustice, and this is the Lakers fucking the league over once again.
Yeah, they like to shoot free throws a lot more than everybody else, apparently. When you look at the stats, it is staggering.
Yeah, it's
the just complete and utter just...
I think if there isn't an investigation into this, I think the league has a real problem on their hands when you look at the stats. Chris, I'm going to read to you the LA Lakers free throw attempts from 2022 to 2024, as of whenever this stat line was made, maybe just a few days ago. They have shot free throw attempts 1,017 attempts. All right, the Knicks are in second place. Why don't you take a guess at how many they are at second place when the Lakers had over 1,000?
I'm gonna say 900.
Well, you would think that would be the case because the Lakers are in first place, but no. Second place is the New York Knicks at 358 free throws. Less than. I just don't even know.
So the number is the plus. So it's plus 1,017, which means the Lakers take that many more free throws than their opponents.
Yep.
The next one is going to be the New York Knickerbockers, which Chad just said was 358. So the Knicks take 358 more free throws than their opponents.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get almost 3 times the amount, and it's just normal?
And it was brought up when this topic kind of was starting to get everybody's attention when they started to see the numbers climb. They drive to the basket less than any team in the league.
Yeah, they shoot the most 3-pointers.
That's how you get to the line is normally if you drive to the basket and you get fouled. So how are they getting so many free throw lines aside from the obvious? LeBron and Anthony Davis being a Laker.
Well, I mean, it's safe to say that we could probably point to the reason there is a play-in tournament was to ensure that the Lakers got into the playoffs.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Man, did it work like a charm last year.
Yeah.
But, we're seeing it now. It does just seem like this league is very skewed to keeping the Lakers and LeBron relevant. I would be very interested to hear what Adam Silver's comments would be if he was asked a direct question about this discrepancy, because it doesn't. You can't sit here and say the Nuggets, who live in the paint. Let's see where the Nuggets are.
22nd. I already looked. Guess what? The reigning defending champs.
They are negative 143.
Minus 143.
So they don't even take. They take 143 less than their opponents.
Yeah. And
so
you know what? Look,
explain that, Adam Silver.
And this says a lot too when the rest of the bottom of the list here are a bunch of kind of the bottom of the barrel teams that are in the league right now, in the rankings and in the standings.
Yeah.
You look at Golden State, Indianapolis. I mean, those guys are Indianapolis decent, Detroit.
Where it gets weird though is OKC. That's where it gets a little weird that they don't take that many free throws.
Shea drives a lot. Why are they minus 270?
Because you don't wear the purple and gold, damn it.
Yep.
That's what it is.
I'm dying to see when we get a statement from Adam Silver. We'll try to get you guys updated on
I'm going to
this
ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, do it. Send him a text. Because this is a discrepancy that's just, it's so blatant. If, let's say the Lakers had, second place was the Knicks at plus 358 and the Lakers are plus 500. Okay. That's the Lakers, kind of normal. They're at plus 1,000. That doesn't even seem real.
It doesn't. When you hear it, you're like, that's made up.
It's made up. It just can't even be real.
No, this is reality.
It's like NBA Jam numbers, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
He's on fire. He's heating up, and it's the Lakers.
Playing on easy level, and everybody else is playing on hard.
All right, let's run down the top 3. We're not going to do the whole thing. We got to cook a little bit here. We got to be like Russell Wilson, cook. You know what I mean?
Keep on cooking.
Eastern Conference, we got Boston, who have clinched already with 57 wins and 15 losses, 9-1 in their last 10. Behind them are the Milwaukee Bucks, 46-25, and in third place, the surprise of the season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, 44 wins and 28 losses. Chad, do you have the Western Conference pulled up, or should I keep rolling?
I've got the Denver Nuggets in first place, 51-21. And then just a game back are the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then behind them, or a game and a half back, are the Minnesota Timberwolves. 3-game race there in the Western Conference. It's going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, and the Pelicans are coming on strong.
They have taken the 4th spot. Look at that.
Yeah.
8-2 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, they are playing real good.
Yep.
So we'll see where they shake out in the final standings, but there's a possibility they could get up into third. We'll see. But it's time to move into a little bit of the F1. We're going to go F1 next. Why not? Let's go F1. All right.
And I tried to watch this race. I fell asleep.
So did I.
It sucks. It just starts so late, man. I really tried to stay up for it. I even had an alarm set.
Friday, I tried to watch the
qualifying
and fell asleep. But from the surgery table to the podium, Carlos Sainz wins the Australian Grand Prix as Ferrari takes the top 2 spots, finishing first and second. And then in third, you had Lando Norris and McLaren. And right behind Lando was Oscar Piastri, who also drives for McLaren. So you've got Ferrari in the top 2 and McLaren finishing it out in the top, well, the 3rd and 4th spot. So big news there. Also huge news. Where is Max Verstappen? His car be a stopping in the 3rd lap.
Right?
Yeah, caught on fire. Laps. And he had to retire. So apparently the only thing that stopped Max is the car itself.
And I heard he was freaking out just like Ricky Bobby. He was screaming, "I'm on fire! I'm on fire! Tom Cruise, use your witchcraft!" I don't know. That may be true, may not. We'll see if he comes back in 2 weeks in Japan.
He could be
a little rattled. Could be paralyzed.
He might be. He might not be able to use his legs.
The way it works sometimes, man. Oprah Winfrey! Save me.
It's such a great movie.
Oh, it's so good.
So
praise
and
for
then
Max.
What you've got something to talk about?
Well, I just wanted to bring it up because when Sainz won the race after getting his appendix pulled out, which is insane, 15 days later, there were other racers too that were like, I can't remember which ones. They were like, I think I need to do this.
Yeah, I think it was George Russell or somebody was
like that,
I'm going to get my appendix removed so I can win a race. So,
Yeah.
which George Russell had a pretty gnarly crash.
Yeah, he did.
Crash on the final lap.
I saw that.
He almost flipped over.
But the talk of the town is Sainz doesn't have a contract with any racing team next year, and Red Bull has a spot open.
Yeah.
So there's good talks that, with Sergio kind of on the decline this year.
Yeah, Checo Sergio Perez was getting talked about last year as possibly being on the hot seat, and he finished 5th in this race, but not too bad, but he would have been one down if Verstappen was racing. So he's not doing good, and Sainz doesn't have a job, and he said even after the fact, he's like, well, maybe this will do something because I still don't have a job next year.
I thought that was a good quote. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Really hinting at something there.
Yeah. I mean, I could only imagine those two ripping around in a Red Bull. They would win every race.
They'd be racing each other.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
And
you call it Sainz, right?
Sainz, Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, Sainz.
It's getting interesting, and you said 2 weeks. We've got the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yeah, amazing raceway. It looks like something straight out of Need for Speed or Gran Turismo. That's what I'm thinking of.
That was always a fun game.
Oh, hell yeah. Have you watched the movie yet?
No, because I don't like it.
Wait. What do you don't?
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I saw the preview, and that was enough for me to be like, I could probably skip this movie.
I don't know. I guess it's a true story.
Yeah,
about a guy that played Gran Turismo and started racing, which I did hear about it when that happened, and I didn't think they'd make a movie about it. But here we are.
Yep.
Yeah. So
all right, that's F1. 2 weeks. We'll get back with a recap from Japan. Hopefully, we'll be going there, getting some sushi.
Yeah, getting that sushi, dude.
All right. Let's hit the ice, Chris.
Let's do it. Let's hit the dang old ice. We've had something happen in the NHL that has not happened in some time. Let me find my damn tab. We had two 50 goal scorers, which happened on the same day. And it's the first time, I believe, since 2001 that happened. And I've totally lost my damn tab, Chad.
See, if you're like Bryce, you could just rattle this off your head.
I know, if I was good. God damn. Oh, it's right here.
Okay.
All right, Sam Reinhart scored 2 goals to reach 50 on the season. He plays for the Philadelphia Flyers, and Reinhart also was joined by Zach Hyman from the Edmonton Oilers, who also scored 50 goals. And this was the first time, like I said, since 2001 that multiple players scored their 50th goal on the same day. They are still a ways behind Austin Matthews, as Austin Matthews, I believe, is sitting at 60 goals right now. So they've got a ways to go to catch up to him. But it's still pretty cool. We're seeing a lot of goals getting scored this year. You've got, a pretty good race here for MVP. And now the President's Cup is heating up.
And we got a really good game going on tonight. We got the Boston Bruins taking on the Florida Panthers in Florida. And it's 3-3 right now with 3 minutes left to go in the third period. Hell of a game.
Hell of a game. News with the Avalanche. Avalanche signed goalie Justus Annunen to a 2-year extension, so they lock up their backup goalie. Everybody was thinking going into the trade deadline, goalie was going to be one of their big acquisitions that they were going to try to make, but they stick with the guys they've got. And
it's been working. They've been playing good.
Yeah, and I actually lied. I said Reinhart was on the Flyers. It's the Panthers. That's my bad. It was in Philadelphia when it happened.
Bruins just scored.
Was that it? Did they win?
There's 2 minutes and 21 seconds left. Oh, that was a cool goal. They did it on Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky?
I know. I always fuck up these names. You're a lot better at it, but damn.
Dang old Russians. You got to say it like you're Russian, and then it helps.
Bobrovsky.
That's
still not right.
I started trying to learn Russian to speak to Vlad and
Paul.
Paul.
Paul likes it when you speak Russian. I learned a few words too.
Yeah, Privyet is hello.
Okay.
And then I've Googled what "see you later" was, and then Vlad had to teach me how to say it. I was saying it wrong. It's like "Uvidimся позже."
Oh wow, nicely done.
Yeah, so
nice.
That's "see you later" in Russian. So
customers like that. That's how you get tips, man.
Exactly. I got like one tip, but so that's all I really have for news in the NHL. I mentioned earlier that crazy game I watched with the Avalanche beating the Penguins, but the
Avs are taking on the Canadians right now, and it is 1-1. 7 minutes left to go in the first period.
Yes, and speaking of the Avs, we'll roll to the Western Conference as we cruise down the standings right now. The Avalanche, with that win over the Penguins, move into first place in the Central Division. They've got 71 games played, 46 wins, 20 losses, 5 overtime losses for a total of 97 points. Right behind them is the Dallas Stars, tied with 97 points, 44 wins, 19 losses, 9 overtime losses. And in third place, we got the Winnipeg Jets. 71 games played, 44 wins, 22 losses, 5 overtime losses for 93 points. Go to the Pacific Division. We got Vancouver leading the Pacific Division at 98 points, 45 wins, 19 losses, 8 overtime losses. Behind them is Edmonton with 88 points, 42 wins, 23 losses, and LA rounds out the Pacific with 71 games played, 38 wins, 22 losses, 11 overtime losses for 87 points.
All right.
Do you want to cruise down the Eastern Conference real quick?
Yep, just like I said earlier tonight. It's a good game because Florida Panthers are leading at 46 wins, 20 losses, and 97 points. And they're leading the Boston Bruins, who just took the lead in that game, who have 41 wins, 16 losses, and 97 points. So very pivotal game tonight. Then the third place, Toronto Maple Leafs with Austin Matthews, who you just said, 40 wins, 21 losses, and 89 points. In the Metro Division.
Metrosexuals.
New York Rangers, 47 wins, 20 losses, 98 points. Then Carolina Hurricanes, 45 wins, 20 losses, and 97 points. And then in third place, Philadelphia Flyers, 36 wins, 27 losses, and 81 points.
81 of them things.
And there you go.
Yeah, it's like I just mentioned, the President's Cup. You're looking Florida, Boston, 97 points apiece. The Rangers are now leading with 98 points. We've got the Dallas and Colorado, 97 points. Vancouver, 98 points. So you've got like 5 teams log jammed right now for the President's Cup. And that's for the most wins in a season, which is kind of a bad thing to have happen. The Bruins got it last year when they set the record for the most wins in the regular season in the NHL, and then they were bounced in the first round. So
and the Panthers got it the year before, and I think they were bounced in the conference finals.
Yeah, conference finals. They didn't make it farther, but yeah, it's not a good thing to get it. The year the Avs won it, they got bounced by the Kraken.
Yeah, it's almost a curse.
It is a little bit of a curse. So it's like the Madden curse, the cover curse. You don't want to be on the cover of Madden.
You don't want that.
No.
All right, Chris.
Yes, let's talk to the MLB real quick.
It's true. We got to get in that.
Let's do it.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, meat.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried
just a bit outside. Looks like Travis from Knee Circles just tagged us in that Vince Young. Do you see that? Vince Young
he got knocked out. Yeah, he got sucker punched, I think, right?
Yeah, he got clocked.
Yep.
So this is just a little bit of an update. Ohtani did come out and make statements about his interpreter Ippei Mizuhara, who now has been fired by the Dodgers after he kind of like embezzled $4.5 million from Ohtani. But, you know, with stuff like Jonte Porter happening, maybe Ohtani was smart enough just to have his buddy doing bets for him. I don't know. Chad said he found some things in his research that may lead you to believe.
Well, there were some games that the guy bet on his interpreter that were also some games where Ohtani did not play up to par, just kind of like what we were talking about with Jonte Murray. Because it's a lot easier if you're going to bet a bet on your team or yourself. It's a lot easier to bet against yourself and to go the under rather than being like, oh, well, I got to play really 40. Hard.
Yeah.
You know, you almost want to applaud someone for betting on that. And then you're betting on yourself. But if you're betting on the under, it's real easy to underperform.
Yeah.
And there were like multiple games where that whoever, his interpreter that placed the bets, placed it on the other team to win by a certain margin, and Ohtani was pitching that night, and Ohtani's a damn good pitcher, and these happened to be some nights where he gave up a lot of earned runs, and also didn't do very well on the plate either.
Yeah.
So coincidence? I don't know.
I think not, but maybe it is. I don't know, but it does seem very weird that the big bets were placed on games where he did bad. So we'll see. I think earlier you said Jonte Murray, but I know
there's
why.
There's a big fight breaking out at the end of this Panthers-Bruins game, man. Hell yeah. It looks like the Panthers are a little sour. It just ended.
So now they're boxing.
Yeah.
You said Jonte Murray, which DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I heard it pronounced on PTI Jonte Murray, so maybe I fucked it up. I shouldn't have listened to that.
It's Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter.
Did
I say Murray?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
I was
Dude,
like, I
I'm
think
getting
you would,
the names mixed up.
It's
Sorry.
okay, we can't all be Bryce.
Dude, for real. He's a way someone to live up to, man.
I've got a new idol. So yeah, it's very interesting, and yeah, when all of these things, it's the Fox MLB DraftKings Sports Studio, and all of the reporters are brought to you by different whatever bet, whatever, it's hard to sit here and be like, well, how can this happen? It's like, oh, it's everywhere. What do you mean?
The players are walking to their locker room with ads plastered all inside the tunnel, or
DraftKings,
all outside
but don't
of
fucking place
everything,
a bet in here.
But don't you do it, or you're going to get suspended for a year. It's something. It's a touchy subject. I don't know. I've told you before how I feel indifferent on it, and I don't want any of these guys to bet on it. But also, it's like, how
if you're going to do it, have some class. Be like Pete Rose. Bet on your team to fucking win.
Yeah. Have some cojones.
Yeah. Have some gumption, dude.
That's right.
But it's going to be really interesting to see how this transpires, because I'm definitely starting to think that this is somewhat of a nefarious thing. And I think with the amount of money Ohtani's making, it's very easy to be like, hey, man, go to jail for like a year, and then you'll never have to work again.
Yeah.
Like, take this fall for me. and I'll make sure you're good to go. You know what I mean?
I know, but
I got 700 million coming, 698 in like fucking 10 years.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough because with the wire transfers, there's a lot of shady shit involved with this, and the investigation has just now started.
And why does your interpreter have your bank account information?
Exactly,
seems weird.
Yeah.
Be one thing if it's like your personal assistant.
Shannon Sharp had a really good take on that this morning, actually, where he was like, man, I had made millions of dollars and I am still like making a lot of money. And if I wanted to go pull out any large amount, they give me a hard time.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't imagine sending someone else to go do that and then they're just being okay with it.
Yeah, it does seem very weird.
It's a pretty good point.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But let's you want to hear some John Daly?
Yeah, let's get out of here. We're gonna do a little March Madness recap, but we're so behind.
We'll tap back into that after the Sweet 16 and Elite 8.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit better after next weekend anyway. So let's get into the DDOE. It's time to hit it hard, man.
Let's do it.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I
hit it hard. That's right. We hit it hard each and every week, and we grip it, rip it, and we make sure to always sip it, whether it be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But it is time for the daily dose of excellence. And Chad, take it away.
I think we're going to award it to Greg KAMPE, who was the Oakland coach for Oakland University. That is a university in Michigan.
Yep,
not California. But yeah, I think he definitely deserves this because just like John Daly, who's going to continue to try, John Daly still shows up to PGA Tour events every time. And
you damn right.
He never stops trying. Same with this guy. After 40 years, gets an NCAA March Madness win. The story of Oakland University is exactly what March Madness is all about. KAMPE has overseen the basketball program since 1984, ushering the team into Division I in 1999 and leading it to 3 NCAA tournament appearances entering the season. This year's team, led by Jack Goki, who it says a 24-year-old transfer student. I need to see a birth certificate, to be honest.
He looks like he might be an assistant coach. I don't know.
He looks a little older than 24, but we're going to take their word for it.
Yeah.
Who has recorded 347 3-point attempts and 8 2-point attempts over the course of the season. He had 32 points on 10 of 20 shooting from their floor against Kentucky. And that's why we're going to give him this award, because not only did he get his first NCAA tournament win, but it was against a blue blood powerhouse, 3-seeded Kentucky.
Yeah.
Shocked everybody.
Biggest upset of the tourney by far. Knocking off Kentucky, one of the blue bloods, as Chad just said. KAMPE, though, became the current longest tenured men's basketball coach after Jim Boeheim retired after 47 years, and that was on March 8th, 2023. So he's been the longest tenured head coach only for a year now, but still 40 years at any job is insane, let alone one where you've had a record with 699 wins to 537 losses. Spanning from tournaments in the NCAA Division I and Division II. I didn't realize that they were Division II at one point.
Oh, I'd imagine so. Small school, like a very small school.
Yeah, so
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan. You almost said Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota. Yeah, we were joking about it. It's Oakland University, and I was like, I totally thought it was in Oakland, California, because that
I was watching the game.
Makes the most sense. Yeah. Chad brought it up. They're called the Golden Grizzlies. It's on the state flag of California. Golden Bears, doesn't make sense. But I guess when you really think about it, probably more Oaks in Michigan. So
yeah, definitely makes sense. I mean, very foresty around there.
Yeah, very foresty.
But good. I mean, hats off to him for sticking with it. We found this also because there's a really viral photo of him kind of doing the iconic, taking it all in after they had won against Kentucky. They eventually got bounced out before the Sweet 16, unfortunately, but they got that tourney win against a huge seed, so that's cool. But he's standing on the court just looking at the gym floor while the whole arena's empty, and it's just pretty amazing when someone the only reason you're doing that is just take it all in, almost meditate in a sense.
Yeah,
savor the moment.
I saw a reporter asked him after the game was they're like, do you think they're gonna like talk about this like when you die? And he's like, well, that's morbid, but it's true. Like, he beat Kentucky. Wow, I didn't think about that, but you're right. You're 100% right. And that might be the first thing they say when I'm gone. Here lies Greg Kampe, who beat Kentucky. Huh, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. Sounds like a good.
Yeah.
He's got a good personality.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
Got a good sense of humor. But yeah, and Jack Goki, he totally took the whole tournament by storm that first weekend, because I mean, I was watching that game. I had Kentucky picked, and a couple of brackets go pretty far. They had a really good offense, but Jack just kept shooting threes, going, like I said, 10 for 20 from three. It's insane. I mean, you don't see
all
stuff
he did.
like that.
It was 10 for 20.
I mean, every time they went on offense, it was like, just guard him, and he was throwing out fadeaways, crazy threes.
Yeah.
All of them were going in.
Yeah, it is pretty wild that you shoot that many threes in your senior, or what? I guess he's a senior. I don't know.
24 years old.
I don't know what
senior.
he is.
Been in college for 6 years.
Super senior.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just crazy shooting that many 3-pointers and only having 8 twos, which we were joking about were probably toes on the line 3-pointers.
I bet so. Yeah, they were
Guarantee
actually.
you, they were not drives to the basket.
No, doesn't seem like he wants to do that. Get me away from that.
Well,
hats off to you, Greg Kampe. 40
Yes.
years coaching gets that. That's got to feel good.
Cheers. I'm going to take what's little remnants are left for you.
Cheers to you, sir. And Chris, episode
Cheers to
76 in the books, man.
Episode 76 in the books. We did it.
Thanks
we
a lot, guys.
Thank each and every one of you for joining us. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media and streaming.
Please do.
Make sure to leave us some reviews and rate us 5 stars as well. We love you guys.
Hey, come back and see us next week.
Yeah, Chad, I love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy. See
We'll
you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Toodles.
Let's go watch this.